get Raquel into school, and we just very much appreciate the opportunity that Pennridge School District has for being a diverse community, accepting of people, hearing the good things that the other student from El Salvador, how he was successful in the technical school. Also, throughout the whole process, it's been very great working with the administration at the high school, the counselors, the teachers. There's been open communication, accepting of Raquel as a student who has lived here for the past 12 years. We just want to thank you for having the exchange program as part of the community, and look forward to hosting students next year. We're putting in to host 2 more for next year, so hopefully we'll be successful with that. But I did bring Raquel along. She's returning home to Italy on Saturday, so it's going to be a bittersweet time for us this next couple of days. But she just wanted to express her thanks to you also for allowing her the opportunity.
Nothing. Thank you so much, because I'm from City West, and thank God, the superintendent and all of you that permitted me to come here, and the experience was awesome. So, with student and teachers, so thank you so much. Because in the other school was not that much. So here is, I don't know, but here is better. And I did good, so thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and good luck.
Thank you.
Mrs. Furlong.
Sue Furlong, West Rock Hill Township. I had a couple of questions, and I'd like for the questions and the answers to be entered into the minutes for the meeting next time. Number 5, under the Facilities Committee, it says you just voted to form a partnership. Can you define what a partnership is? I would like to speak with a board member, please.
Well, let me just...
No, I would like to speak to a board member.
You can't stop me from talking. I just want to suggest that the partnership is with respect to waiving the facilities use fee. And it's limited to waiving that fee so that the students who take advantage of the program can do so at a lesser rate than they'd otherwise be charged. So you're asking for a board member to render a legal opinion regarding the definition of partnership as set forth in the motion, which is something that I'm qualified to do.
You are qualified to advise the board member what to tell me, is what you're qualified for. Then this is not the contract with this entity. It's simply the statement that we will waive the fees, what we voted on tonight.
Correct.
Okay. How much were the fees that were waived?
I don't know that information.
So you voted on something you don't understand how much or the amount?
We had the information, we don't have it with us tonight.
So you don't have it at the board meeting?
They have the information. They've seen the information.
But the public has not at the board meeting. Okay. Can someone get that information for me, please? I'd like to know how much that is. The number G, 1G under Finance Committee, excuse me, JLR Consulting, it has a rate per hour per consultant. How many consultants are you expecting to hire?
I don't think we know specifically the number, Mrs. Furlong. This allows us to have more than one if we choose to.
Mm-hmm. And you're assuming that both, or any or all consultants are worth $135 per hour?
Well, this is the agreed upon rate.
Mhm. Okay, regardless of the consultant's responsibilities?
No.
Under the contract, the district doesn't have to use anyone. It's agreeing to pay a rate if, as and when it determines that the services which this firm provides are necessary.
Okay. Are you, this is an interim director of information technology. Are we currently interviewing to fill that spot?
We have interviewed.
Okay.
The administration will be bringing a recommendation before the board soon.
Okay, thank you. Number 4, a motion to approve Bucks County Intermediate Unit IDEA Section 619 funds for 2015-16. What is the dollar amount?
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, $2,880.
Okay, thank you. I wasn't sure what that was. The Personnel Committee motion to approve memorandum of understanding between Pennridge School District and Educational Support in regard to employee number 236. Does that involve any funds? That's under personnel, item 1.
That's a personnel matter, so I don't think that's.
I'm just asking what is the dollar amount. I don't need the details or, you know, what the names are.
It's not set forth in the memorandum of understanding. The amount has been calculated, and is probably information that the administration can provide for you, and which the board has been provided, but it's not in the memorandum of understanding.
Can you include that in the answer in the minutes, please? I was curious with the following contracts under personnel. Why were the contracts not under the Finance Committee for the Beacon Employee Assistance Program? Don't we usually do contracts in finance?
I can't tell you for sure, but I believe the Beacon program has been renewed yearly and is generally under personnel, as I recall. I don't think this is.
How much is
changed.
that?
It's a per employee cost.
And how much is that per employee cost?
$14.88 per employee.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Dr. Yarnell, can I just make a comment on
Yes.
the question regarding under personnel, item number 1, the memorandum of understanding? I don't believe that that can be included in the minutes, the answer to the question, because it was not discussed here, correct? So the question has to be put forth and asked to be answered at a later time. Just want to clarify that so that there's no expectation of that information being included in minutes. And when it's not there, that's the reason why.
It could be included in the minutes as an answer to my question. The other thing, I did have one more thing, I apologize. The ad hoc fundraising committee, are you going to report how much you've raised in terms of total collection, total commitments, and maybe a amortization table as to, you know, for the next 10 years, what the layout is of those funds?
There were
And-
questions brought
Excuse
to
me,
the
I'm
meeting.
not quite finished. And how close you are to meeting your goal of raising $2 million?
Those questions can be brought to the next ad hoc meeting when we have it.
They
There
were
was a
brought to the
list of-
last ad hoc meeting.
Excuse me, I'm speaking now. The amortization question was not brought to the meeting, but the list of questions that Mr. Linden brought that evening were passed along to Dr. Price, and he will be answering those questions.
Okay, I'd like for them to be answered in a public way. He's going to send me an email, which I appreciate. But I think as members of that committee, you owe the public, not just me, a update on the status of where you are with your fundraising and meeting your $2 million goal. So that's just how I feel. And thank you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Amy Whalen, Percy Borough. I just wanted to bring some feedback about the clearances. I'm the president at West Rock Hills PTO, and we have noticed a huge decline in our help due to the clearances. I hear a lot of feedback about the TB test and the requiring the fingerprints if you've lived in the district for more than 10 years. Our one and only fundraiser has just begun and is underway, and I've asked for help, and I'm not really sure how we're going to be able to run our fundraiser this year due to the lack of people with clearances. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention, and I know your hands are tied on a lot of it, so there's not a whole lot you can do, but I just wanted to let you know that there are concerns about whether or not we'll be even able to raise our money to support our school this year due to the lack of the ability of people to help. Thank you.
Thank you for quantifying that. Mr. Rush.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to new board members. Thank you for volunteering for this amazingly interesting job you have now. And I just wanted to speak tonight in support of Barry's suggestion about the integration of these committees. I think it's a really wise move for any board to become as aware as possible on everything that's happening in the community, schools, in regards to safety for children. In my experience, most attention often is directed towards physical safety first, because it's easily seen when you build new vestibules or secure blind spots or get videos or more security personnel. But in actuality, most of the horror that's happened in schools, anybody knows if they read the stories usually, that the security is always circumvented somehow by somebody who wants to do something awful, like shoot up a school. And the chances of that happening are still probably less than getting struck by lightning. But that said, there's so many other harms that occur emotionally and socially with kids. So I really, again, commend Dr. Radigan on her priority and her support for social and emotional health. In a few months, there'll be results coming from the state for the Pennsylvania Youth Survey of all the 6th, 8th, 10th, and 12th graders that were surveyed a couple months ago. So each year, our coalition, many of you know that I work with the Upper Bucks Healthy Communities, Healthy Youth Coalition. So we usually have a town hall meeting with Pennridge, Palisades, Quakertown, and we share the results of those survey data as an Upper Bucks community. So those dates are not yet determined, but they'll probably be the last month, the last week in May. And in regards to safety, I think that, most people know that what really can ensure safe children are safe adults. So, in spite of all the background checks and all the screens that we do for making sure we have, decent people with our kids, they usually don't filter out the kinds of people that are prone to do that because they're not usually caught before, whether they be professional staff, support staff, bus drivers, or whoever. And that's unfortunate. But what happens sometimes with kids is they know a lot more than adults do sometimes. So I'm always a fan, I'm a big believer, and this gives me another chance to get up tonight and really suggest a very hard look at our ratio between kids and counseling staff. So many of the older board members know that I brought this up before. I think in the middle schools especially, we're really, in dire need of more counselors. So I don't know if the budget's been proposed to the point where you're looking at those FTEs yet for counseling staff in the middle schools. But years ago, we used to have 2 counselors per middle school. I think now we have 1.3. So I'm going to keep, suggesting and nudging people along as we try to increase that number of counselors, because I think that's where kids get to talk to people what's really going on in their life under the surface. So please keep that in your mind. And I know it's a cost, but I think it's a much better return on our money than it is for more secure bricks and mortar and more background checks and things like that. So thank you very much, and good evening.
Thank you. Anyone else in the public wish to comment? Press?
I'd like to speak to a couple of board members about the budget.
Okay. If there are no public questions from the press, we will adjourn. Thank you very much for coming.